Hi guys, it's Paul from emails.co.uk. Welcome back to part 6 of our Airfix 148 Messerschmitt BF109E build. Today we're going to be applying the decals, the weathering wash. We'll then be giving it a matte varnish to do all the details down, attaching all the bits and bobs we haven't done yet, the propeller, the wing guns, the antenna, etc., the landing gear, and then we'll give it a final reveal and a few pictures for you to see. So I hope you like what you see. Let's get started. Right, so we're going to start the decaling process now. The ME109's been obviously gloss coated like we did in part 5. This gives us a nice smooth surface to allow decals to be able to move in position and also to set properly, reducing the chance of silvering, water stuck under the decals. So for this you'll need a water tray. I use Trumpeter's decal tray. Setting solutions, microsol, microset. I've actually got the set mixed in with the water, so I won't be really using that separately. But every decal will have a top application of microsol. Scissors, tweezers, a craft knife, some cotton buds, some cocktail sticks, and a brush as well. So I'll just quickly run through how I start the decaling process. I'll do the rest of the decaling and we can come back at a later stage. So colour call out again is here, so we'll start on the wing sections. So we're looking for number 37, which is these ones here. So you can either use your craft knife or your scissors, personal preference. I prefer to use the knife. Cut around the edges, be careful to only go around the decal you want to use and not to interfere with any we're not using right now. Put your decals out of the way, make sure they don't get wet. Obviously you don't want to be getting them wet before you're using them. Pop them in the water solution. Make sure they're completely submerged. Then we'll leave that be for a minute. Take your brush, dip it in your water. Have a look where the decal will actually be sitting, which will go for the left hand wing on this one. Tell you what, we'll go for the right hand one to make it easier for you to see. So we're just creeping over that panel line there. Put some of the water and decal solution down. You'll find it will just bead up because the surface is so gloss. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can see better. I'll move it up there so we can see a bit easier. So as you can see, the water is literally just beading on the surface. That's due to the gloss coat we've already got. So still put the water down, brush it over the surface, get your tweezers. That's been in there for probably 30 seconds now. The idea of this tray is you put your decal in, you then pull this part which lifts it up, takes it out of the water and allows it to sit and just soak of its own free will for a couple of minutes. That should be near enough done, but we'll give it a few more seconds. So again, make sure it's nicely wet. Pick your decal up. I always like to touch the bottom of the decal on the paper first. See if she moves, which she does. Refer back to your reference for the decal's position. Pop her down. Pop her on. While it's still wet, you can either use your brush or your cocktail stick to position it around. Be nice and gentle because they are quite delicate, the decals, and just keep referring back to your decal call out sheet to make sure you get it positioned just the right place, which looks to be around about there. So if you look at the reference, I can get them side by side, you can see we're roughly in the right position. So obviously it's an important reference to keep an eye on. Once you're happy with its final position, which I'm going to just pull it back a little bit out of there. Lovely. Pop it down flat, cotton bud, and gently roll it over the surface. Don't slide it because you'll drag the decal like I've just done. All you're trying to do is remove the excess water. Luckily there's plenty under this still to allow me to manipulate it round where I want it. I'm going to get rid of most of the water, then I'm going to position it properly. So there we go, that's about right. So you're literally using it like a squidgy but rolling it instead, trying to push all the water out from under the decal, which will allow it to set properly. And as you can see, even with all the water out, because it's such a glossy surface, the decal still moves around nicely. So another quick reference to the pictures, get like a little water droplet there. Nice and straight. I'm happy with that. So again, get another cotton bud, and this time you can start to drag it over the surface as it will start to adhere now and conform to all the surface detail. The worst thing we can have is any water under there, because it will start to silver. Again, don't be too rough with them, they do tear easily. You do get a fair bit of manipulation time whilst they're wet. So, setting solution, I use Microscale Industries Microsalt, as do a lot of people. Dry your brush off. A lot of people don't use the same brush, I never have a problem. A generous amount, not a massive amount of it, but a generous amount. And we're just going to paint. I think if I can do this so you can see. Go over the entire decal with a solution, especially the edges, because this is where this stuff works wonders. What it will do, it will start to shrink and shrivel the decal, making it conform to all the surfaces, the detail, panel lines, etc. And once it's dry, it will make the decal look as though it's been painted on, and there should be no signs of silvering or any imperfections in it. So there we go, as you can see on the camera, it's nicely wetted with the solution. So it's in a case of completing all the decals on the model. Make sure when you're going from one side to the other you don't start putting your finger into them, because once these are actually moist with the satin solution, you can damage them quite easily with your fingers. So pay attention to what you're doing, make sure you're handling it in the right position and you're not manhandling it in the wrong place. Once you've done all your decals and they've all had the satin solution applied, leave it 24 hours, and then we're going to give it another gloss coat of the future floor polish again in preparation to the weathering. So I'm going to crack on with the rest of the decals, and when we come back we'll start with the weathering process. Okay, so the decals are now all on. The satin solution's set, conform them nicely to all the panel lines, details, etc. I've then given another coat of clear to seal them in. Also attached the wing mounted cannons, painted the nose cannons, the exhaust. I've also sorted all the landing gear out, ready to go on once the matte coat's sorted. So what we're going to do now, we're going to give it a wash. I don't like heavily weathered planes, never have. So I'm just going to give it a dark dirt wash. This will collect on all the panel lines. Once it's dry, rub it off, and it leaves all the panel lines showing really nicely, to be honest. So a good shake. Lid off. Try our best not to spill the bottle, which is my normal trick while I'm doing this. Decent amount on the brush, whilst I remember to get the tweezers up the nose to save us looking about trying to hold it with our fingers. So with this stuff, it's just a Nice coat all over, covering the entire model with the wash, which collects, as you can see, and you can see it on camera there very well, collects on all the recesses, panel lines, etc. And then once it's dry, you literally wet a kitchen towel, wipe it off, and anything that isn't a raised surface or detail, the wash comes away from it quite easily. So it's just a nice way of highlighting a surface area. So it's just methodically all around the model until the entire thing's covered. All the little recesses, gaps, panel lines, anywhere where dirt could accumulate. Obviously different people have different ways of weathering. This is by far the easiest way of accenting panel lines. Works very well. Gives a very well worn, used look to the aircraft. And again, the clear coat over the decals is there to protect them. So when we're rubbing off the wash, we don't start taking decals with us and destroying all your hard work. So there's all the top done, so we spin it round from underneath, it's exactly the same. Plenty in the wheel wells. I've left the wheel wells RM65 because once that dark washes in, it darkens them up nicely. Make sure you've got every area covered. Obviously, because this is a gloss coat, it will wipe off fairly easy. If you wanted to make it a more grimy aircraft, if you put this wash over a matte finish, it'll adhere a lot better. I say better, it'll make it harder to remove. So you see it starts to dry on the top already. So once this is dry, we can take it off, apply all our other bits and bobs, the landing gear, the antenna, etc. Then we can give it a matte coat, unmask the windscreens, canopies rather, and it's job done. So let's make sure we're all covered. Looks about right to me. Just going to put that to one side to dry. Okay, so the wash is now dried, as you can see. So it's going to remove all the excess off the panels, leaving the wash and all the panel lines, recesses, etc. So we're literally going to wet a cloth and then gently start to rub it off. Just be careful of any parts sticking out, things like the guns, what have you. Make sure you don't start dragging off things that don't want to be removed. and keep your cloth nice and moist. Obviously you can use all different washes for this, different methods, but I prefer to use this wash as it's nice and easy to remove at this stage. So there you go, on that wing there. You can see all the panel lines are now filled with the wash, and obviously all the flat surfaces, the wash has been removed. So it's just a case of going around the whole aircraft until all the excess wash has been removed. Okay, so there we go, there's all the wash removed. There's some nice detail on all the panel lines. You should be able to see them a bit more highlighted there now, around all the surface detail, etc. Gives a nice grimy look to the whole aircraft, which, you know, again, like I said, I don't like them too weathered, but this one's now nicely weathered, which is great. Landing gear is all attached, painted up, so that's all on now. The antenna's on, ready for some, I've got some easy line there to put the aero wires in. Propeller's all sprayed up, nose cone sprayed, so that's ready to be attached. So all that's left to do now is a quick matte coat, unmask all the canopy, attach the easy line rigging to the antenna, and we're all done. So I'm going to go to the spray booth and we'll give it a quick matte varnish. Okay, so we're in the spray booth now. We're going to give this a matte varnish, which will take all the shine off the aircraft, dull it down and make it look really well, more realistic, hopefully. So for this we'll be using Vallejo's matte varnish. I either use that, or if I can reach it, Alclad clear coat matte. But today we're going to be using the Vallejo. So you give it a good shake in your colour cup of your airbrush. I'm spraying this at about 20 psi. I need my tweezers, which are there. So we'll pop the aircraft in there. I've got my little eye water ready loaded up, so spray booth's going on. I'm just going to give it a dusting all over the Vallejo matte varnish. So don't go mad, don't let it run, just make sure you get everywhere with it, because we need to lose that glossy look we've got from the clear coat that we use for decaling. So just a nice even coat everywhere. Try not to let it cool if possible. Like I say, just try to ensure you get every area covered, including the leading edges, the actual edges of the wings, all the detail. Just as before, systematically all around the aircraft. I've hardly got the trigger pulled back on this, so you're not trying to coat it all in one go. Just trying to go all around, cover everywhere. So there's a couple of mil gone. Cap off, give it a shake. A few more drops. It does. Very handy little cap on these. My Harvest Steam back doesn't have these. It does save any risk of spillages of paint. So fill it up, make sure your flow's okay still. Just go back over where you've just done. It should be virtually dry by now. Just dry very, very fast. very good, very handy. A little bit more on the colour cup just for that back end by the tail, and then the propeller, and we're all done. To one side. And then the propeller. On cocktail stick, it's a lot easier to spray rather than trying to do it on the aircraft. If you don't get the overspray like I've just done, you do just cut back, give it some air. Once you're happy, place it to the side, let it dry. Off to the plane. You can still see it's a bit wet there. Just let that dry for a moment or two. Okay, so there we go. She's all done. The propeller's attached, wing mounted cannons are on. I've unmasked the canopy, turned out very nice, nice clean and crisp lines. We've got some antenna wire on using easy line wire. The matte coat's now dry quite nice. It does look quite shiny on camera. It seems to really exaggerate the shine, but it's not that shiny in real life. It's a nice matte, slightly satin finish, just the way I like it. If I just zoom in a little bit, I'll show you the rigging and what I use. So this is what I use. It's called Easy Line. A lot of shops sell it. So as you can see, it's just a black thread, but it's elasticated. So it's nice and easy to use. I've used cotton in the past, but it's an absolute bugger to get it to stay taut. So with this, it's a case of I attach it to the rear section, super glued it on, quick blast of activator, left it for a few seconds, lightly stretch it to the front, sorry, a little dab of super glue on the top of the antenna, and just pull it through, hold it tight for a second. It needs very little stretch. Quick blast of activator and cut it to the length you want, and the same in the fuselage top. I drill through the top, super glued it on, a couple of blobs of super glue either end to give the look of the, if I remember right, they're called resistors, can't remember now. So that gives a nice, neat look to that. Nice and easy to do. Like I say, I've used cotton before, but it's an absolute pain to get it taut. A lot of mucking about. I've even used my length of my girlfriend's hair in the past on 172 models. It works, but it's a bugger to use. As you can see, our pilot's in there. Nice view into the cockpit. Nice clear, nice crisp lines. The weathering wash, as always, works very well. You can see the panel lines are very well shown and defined now. Really does make it stand out nicely. Obviously we painted the exhaust last time. If we just spin around, we've got a nice dirty undercarriage, which is the way I like them to look. Again, nicely well weathered. The wash is gathered in all the correct places. Makes it look very realistic. So overall, as I said from the beginning, the Airfix Messerschmitt 109 build kit, a couple of years old, very nice model. Makes a very nice 109. Nice simple build, great instructions. The colour call out for the camouflage is superb, very handy. So if you do want to make a nice 140 109, I highly recommend the kit. I think it's between £15 and £18 for me models. Highly recommended. Very nice kit. So I'm very happy with that. Another one to add to my warbirds. So I'll get some still photos in my photo booth and add them on at the end, so we can get some in better light and what have you. But very nice kit. Very happy with the way it's turned out. So Thank you very much. Okay, there's into our Airfix 148 Messerschmitt BF109 build. Lovely kit, joy to build. I hope you like what you've seen. I'll be back on another build soon. Modern jet this time, I think it'll be. So it's paulformemodels.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed all the videos. Please feel free to leave any comments below, anything you'd like to see done, anything else shown how to be done, etc. Like the videos on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, check out onyourmodels.co.uk's website. All your modelling needs can be found on there. Like us on Facebook, and I'll see you next time. So take care. Thanks for watching.